And they should let us know.
Fantastic. Nice to see you guys. Thank you for your patience for those who stayed along. Malin? Yes, we can hear Malin. Malin, can you hear us? Our lovely speaker from Sweden. Okay, you know what? We're going to start. I'm going to try help Malin and our other speaker, Alberto, join. And what I'll do is I'll very quickly introduce and then hand you over to my dear colleague, Agatha. So first and foremost, my name is Kieran O'Donnell. I'm from the Eurochild Secretariat and I'm a Policy and Communications Assistant. As you can see, my communication skills are top and stellar, but I do, again, thank you for your patience and sticking with us, guys. And alongside me here is Dr. Agatha Dedato, and she is a Senior Project Manager here at Eurochild as well. And I'll allow her to introduce herself. So I'll give you over to Agatha, and she's going to introduce herself, but also start talking about the CarePath project as well. Thank you again for your patience.
Good afternoon, everybody. I know some of you, having worked for Eurochild for a number of years. Thank you very much for joining. I'm responsible for the file focusing on early childhood development and early years education and care here in Eurochild, and I'm managing most of the projects we get along with. These 2 years have been very intense for Eurochild in terms of working for this partnership, the CarePath Project, which is a EU-funded initiative which aims to improve national and regional child protection systems in providing integrated aftercare support to children in alternative care and transitioning out of institutional settings. This is a project funded by the EU program on rights, equality and citizenship. It's coordinated by the Italian University of Torino, and we, the partnership include partners from Italy, and we have the pleasure to have with us Alberto Zucconi, who is the president of the Person-Centered Approach Institute and also one of the partners, the key partners in the partnership. We also have partners from Greece, Ifikala Ergo and Read Lab, and then from Cordelia in Hungary. So let me introduce you to the CarePath project now. The UN, you can scroll down there.
Yes.
The UN guidelines for the alternative care of children highlight the importance of timely and adequate preparation for living care and aftercare support to children and young people transitioning out of alternative care. Now, addressing the gaps in service provision, such as, for example, the lack of consultation with children and the lack of children's participation, inappropriate care and therapy arrangements, the lack of psychosocial support, the lack of multi-sectoral collaboration to implement a durable solution. All these gaps are the focus of the CarePath project, and we really seek to address this challenge and these gaps with this multi-sectoral collaboration across Europe. Trauma-informed care is a methodology which is taking prominence in Europe, and we will hear soon from Malin, because one of the countries rolling out this methodology is indeed Sweden. Colleagues from Save the Children will share with us their experience. It's indeed a methodology that is gaining prominence in Europe. it's gaining recognition across professional circles beyond the psychotherapeutic professionals, which are those who have been using this approach first and foremost. And it's really a type of focus on holistic integrated care informed by the wide range of social, psycho-emotional trauma that children and young people may be exposed to. Now, who is the target of our psychotherapists, art therapists, but also social and healthcare workers, counselors working with children aging out of care, vocational training providers. And what we are seeking with the project is to build the capacity of care professionals in the child protection systems to effectively support traumatized children by taking into account the abuse. And this is very crucial element of this methodology. But we also try to influence public authorities, municipalities, and bodies responsible for child protection across Europe. Now, as I said, we have seen we are witness a kind of recognition of this informed care approach, and in Sweden, Save the Children has been delivering training to professionals. We also have examples from Scotland, examples from Ireland, and the wider UK. But today we have the pleasure to welcome Malin Lindholm from Save the Children, who will share with us the experience.
All right. So, Malin, do you want to start us off? Like so. And we can't hear her. Okay.
Is her mic on? She needs to turn her mic on.
Okay. So just on it, we need to, if you can turn your mic on your system, it's showing that it's not turned on at the moment. Or maybe try remove the earphones. That might also work, and you can use the mic at base on your phone. Anything? No. Yes, great. You can hear us. We can't hear you, unfortunately. So, Malin, in the top right of your screen, where your name is listed as a presenter, if you click on the device that you're using to connect, which is a phone, hopefully there's an option where you can turn your microphone on. It's not allowing us to do it for you, unfortunately, because it's a phone device. Alternatively, you could try take off your earphones, and that might also work.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, welcome, Malin. Thank you so much.
Oh, perfect.
Great. So very quick.
Just a stressful morning.
I know. Thank you for sticking with us. And very quickly, just to further introduce Malin, as Agatha has already mentioned, she is working with Save the Children in Sweden, delivering trauma-informed care, a methodology along with leading trauma-informed care psychologist, Dr. Howard Bath as well, and I'm sure Malin will talk a little bit about that and the 3-pillar healing method. And she has over 10 years of experience working with children and young people in a psychotherapeutic practice, as well as a social worker as well. And yeah, you are very welcome here today, Malin. So thank you very much. And I give you the floor.
Thank you. In Sweden, we met a lot of refugees in 2015, and Save the Children acknowledged that the trauma knowledge was so low. We turned to Norway, where they are very good with trauma. And they were working with something called the 3 pillars of transforming care. And that was Dr. Howard Bath from Australia that has cooked down the leading research of trauma in children into this method. So we started in 2015 and trained non-clinicians. We trained teachers, important adults, foster parents, and so on, social services in this method. And the most important thing for children that are traumatized is how to feel safe, to build good relationships, and for us important adults to see bad behaviors as coping strategies. So we do the training for 2 whole days in a group of 30 people. And in some cases, we also come back for a whole term. It's like a program we do. The Swedish Board of School Education is a partner of us, and they have had researcher from the Linné University in Sweden that has followed us and followed the works in the schools. And they have seen that this is so good for traumatized children, for all children, because the fighting in schools is much less. The results of schoolwork is much better, and the teachers are so much more patient with bad behavior. So here in Sweden, we are 10 psychologists or psychotherapists that has worked for many years in therapies with trauma. And we are now training non-clinicians with this. They also do it in Norway and in Belgium, I think. And we recently got a call from Save the Children Australia asking us about this, which is very ironic because Dr. Howard Bath is from Australia. Usually when I train, I tell a story about a young boy who was 16 years old from Afghanistan coming here. And he stayed at one of our houses for young children. He had so much trauma symptoms, and it was decided that he was going to go to therapy with me in 2017. We started with his coping strategies because he couldn't sleep. He had much flashback, and he was in very, very bad mode. But it was a new opened home, and when he wanted to sleep beside his friend to get some better sleep, they told him that he couldn't sleep in the same room because of the safety for the children. His next coping strategies was to sleep on a sofa out in the living room to be close to the adults. And they told him that, no, you can't do that because of the security. So his last thing to do, it was to sleep with the door opened to be connected to adults. and the staff came and locked the door. So this is about the 3 pillars. If you are not safe, if you don't have good relationships, and if you can't cope, no therapy in the world will work. So this is why we train non-clinicians, schools, social services, foster parents, and so on. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Malin. And we are trying to help our colleague Alberto log back in, but in the meantime, I'm going to pass you guys back to Agatha as well, and she can take you through the CarePath online training course as well. Okay, thank you.
Yes, I would like to focus on one of the main deliverables, which we are working on in the frame of the CarePath program, which is an online training course soon to be launched, which is called MOOC. It's a free, massively open online course on trauma-informed care. The MOOC involves our MOOC involves the use of active learning techniques, including videos, case studies, articles, presentations in PowerPoint, forums. It's targeted to professionals and public authorities who are working with children and young people who have experienced traumatic events in their life course, or it's targeted to those who wish to deepen their knowledge on practices and interventions for children in care who have suffered traumatic events. The duration is 8 weeks for a total of 60 hours. And we will be running the MOOC in 5 different languages: English, Italian, French, Hungarian, and Greek. In fact, in maximum 1 week time, we will have the English and Italian version starting, so really formally launched, and it can take a few extra days for the remaining 3 languages, French, Hungarian, and Greek, but it's really a tool which is about to be launched. What I want to focus is that this course is based on the views of caregivers and adolescents in alternative care. And this is very much one of the components which makes the methodology interesting. At the end of the training process, participants can obtain a certificate of attendance signed by the CarePath Project Partnership. Here in the slides, we have the link to the website, so we can navigate this quickly with you, if this of any help.
Yeah, 1 second. So let's see if we can get this up.
You want to do screen share? And go back onto the meeting one.
Yeah, see it.
Then this one is the.
We've also produced, so in fact, Alberto Zucconi, the president of the Person-Centered Approach Institute, has lead on the production of a manual for trainers. Oh yes, Kieran is now navigating in the project website.
Yep. So as you can see here, the course is set to start in 1 week, give or take, around January the 16th. And as Agatha mentioned, we'll have the English and Italian, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, but also we'll have Hungarian, French as well, and Greek versions available too. So the course will be available here. It's for anyone who has experience of doing an online course before. It runs a very similar format. There is a set number of lessons and content, and there's a lot of video content as well, going through the different methodologies with a number of different experts, including Dr. Alberto Zucconi, who we had hoped would be here with us today, and a lot of very interesting, engaging content as well to engage with, and also questions and regular knowledge checks and so on and so forth as well. And the structure is there's 4 overarching modules, and the final module will be a bit of an assignment-based exercise as well, where you will reflect on what's happened and submit that to complete the course as well.
And the final module is about engaging in a critical reflections on case studies, on how to intervene in case of child abuse or neglect, how to support children while ensuring children's rights are protected. This is very much the essence of the training. It's really about ensuring the protection and the promotion of children's rights while offering them support which is based on a trauma-informed sensitivity and methodology. We'll also have a training manual, which we will be happy to share with any of you who might be interested. It's intended to provide a theoretical and practical framework to the trainers, and it also includes a massive references to a lot of very helpful resources. In fact,
yep. So, and as part of the CarePath project, a large component. So, as you can tell, the project is very focused at professional level, and one of the key important parts that we want to really achieve with this project is to empower, build capacity, support capacity building of professionals like yourselves. For example, for the likes of Malin working in Sweden, or for anyone working in Ireland in similar wraparound models as well, across of Europe, basically. So if anyone would like to get involved in the CarePath program or project as a trainer, as a kind of a facilitator of the online community that's been built as part of the online course, then this is for you. And as Agatha just mentioned, we have this resource available too, and we're keen to share this. And I know we have some people here with us today, and we have others who have expressed interest as well. So what I would say is, if it is something that's of interest to you in getting more involved in the CarePath project, helping us steer these online communities, and really, I guess, being at the forefront of the development and trying to get more traction for a trauma-informed care method across Europe, because it's something we really see a lot of value in, then stay in touch and let me know as well after the webinar. We'll also have a follow-up email ourselves, but you can get in touch with me directly, and we can organize a conversation again to happen ahead of the online course launching next week.
Yeah. And we can support you for the next steps, so you feel like you have the necessary guidance throughout the course. And obviously, there are a number of reasons why we would really encourage you to consider the opportunity to be trainers. Of course, there are a number of learnings that can be achieved during this experience. There's opportunity to become leaders in the online learning community. There are a number of networking opportunities through this cross-European project and partnership. And then, of course, there's a great contribution that you can make to the project goal, which is about influencing reform in child protection systems across Europe. So there are a number of reasons, and some of you have already helping us hugely with the field visits, with the consultation, with professionals and caregivers in a number of countries across Europe, and some others have already helped us in piloting some of the modules of the MOOC. So we've already got a number of responses from membership and partners of Eurochild, and we hope this interest can continue, and we can make use of your great experience and knowledge on this.
So very quickly, we also wanted to inform everyone here about the other valuable inputs or outputs rather that are coming with the CarePath project as well, because the training course is one of the large components of this 2-year project, but there are also other parts to it too. So we wanted to give an overview of what is coming and what is things to mark in your diaries, as well as how to follow on with the project aside from getting involved in the training course as well. So first and foremost, we have our policy report. So Eurochild have carried out an analysis of the European policy context and where trauma-informed care sits within that context. Some of you here today have actually already given feedback on the draft of that policy report, and it will be finalized in the coming weeks. And basically, it's looking to set the narrative for where trauma-informed care fits within child protection reform at an EU level, and what we can do at European level, but also at national level, to actually stimulate change in child protection systems to move towards this more holistic way of looking after children as they are leaving care who have had trauma experiences. So that's the policy report. That'll be coming out soon from Eurochild, so stay tuned for that. And then also we have the EU policy conference we're going to have on the topic of trauma-informed care and psychosocial support more broadly. So at the end of April, the 30th of April, 2020, please do mark it in your diaries. Here in Brussels, we're organizing a policy conference on for the CarePath project, but also to situate it within a bigger debate around psychosocial care. Over the last couple of years, there being an increased attention to this, to the need to provide a more holistic approach to care for young people and children, especially as they're leaving care systems. So this is a policy conference to really take this conversation to the EU stage, and stay tuned for more information on that as well. Then we also are partners in UNITO, so the University of Turin in Italy. They've also developed a good practice guide on trauma-informed care. So another very useful practitioner-based resource that's being developed and finalized as well on this methodology, particularly to support young people as they leave care. So that's another worthy resource to have a look at. And also we have our social media channels that we've been developing and using over the last couple of months. Some of you may be informed or may have already been following us online, but we have active CarePath project handles for Twitter, but also for Facebook. There's also a LinkedIn profile, and we have a YouTube channel that is streaming videos as well, or uploading videos on the content as well as it comes out. So that's the social media. If you want to follow updates, we're also trying to contribute to the building narrative around trauma-informed care and psychosocial support for children and young people. Finally, we've also, as Agatha mentioned previously, we've had some consultations with professionals and care leavers in the participating countries of the CarePath project. So there have been field visits carried out by members of the partnership or members of Eurochild's network more broadly. So we had Concordia, I think, in
Moldova, Romania, and Bulgaria.
Yes, and I know Raluca is here as well.
From Austria, yeah.
From Austria as well. And so there have been some consultations as well with professionals and care leavers too. And there are a second round of those to come in the next couple of months as well. So there's a lot of things going on with the outputs. It's a busy time. So it's also a very opportune and great time to get involved in the project and at a more higher level. So we really do hope you consider it.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Raluca, as well. Also for her colleagues from Concordia Academia based in Romania as well. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Kieran has mentioned the good practice guide, and something the project is also seeking is to develop a sustainable mechanism, actually, through the identification of a good practice across Europe that will enable public authorities and professionals to provide comprehensive psychosocial support services to children living care. And yes, we hope to see as many of you on 30th of April in Brussels. We'll have this EU policy conference alongside Eurochild General Assembly. So we hope to see as many as possible members and partners of the network. We would like to now to open the discussion if the technologies allow. We had envisaged to have a short exchange with participants, inviting you to share your experience of working with trauma-informed care with children living care, share experience of implementation in your own countries, or if you would like to share your experience with other similar methods or application of the trauma-informed care for other vulnerable groups. Let's see if the debate can happen through the tech tool now.
So we've switched to discussion mode now, so everyone should be able to speak and hear each other, all going well, as Agatha has mentioned.
Or type.
But if it doesn't work, yeah, just even if you have a question or you have a comment, please do type it in the chat as well, and we can respond to it as well. So I open the floor if anyone would like to say something, or if anyone can.
We don't seem to see any sign here. But again, the idea is that this is the first webinar for this project to introduce and have a general overview. We really want to encourage you to attend the training course in a few days' time. If you haven't registered, please do so. And then please do consider the opportunity to join the trainers community, and with those who are considering this opportunity, we would like to have a second webinar so we can basically accompany and support you throughout the course and talk about the next steps. So please, anyone who is interested in this or want to learn more, you can send an email to Kiran as a follow-up to this meeting.
Yeah, and I see someone is typing a comment. While they're doing so, I just want to quickly take the opportunity to thank Malin for her input as well on the experience of delivering trauma-informed care training in Sweden and the reasons behind that too. I think it was a very interesting narrative. I had the pleasure of hearing it in person a few weeks ago when I visited Sweden last. And so thank you very much once again for your input there, Malin. It was very appreciated. Unfortunately, our colleague Alberto
is now popping up.
Okay. Hello, Alberto.
Hi.
The system works.
I hear you.
Yes, and we can hear you too. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi.
Okay, so Alberto, thank you for joining us. Would you like to maybe give a little bit of insight into the courses as you were planning on giving anyways? We've already moved on, but we can go back and we can talk through your content as well, if that's something you're interested in doing.
Sure.
Fantastic. Well, in that case, everyone, I'll pass the floor over to Dr. Alberto Zucconi. He's a colleague of ours from the Institute of the Person-Centered Approach in Italy, and a former student and colleague of the late Dr. Carl Rogers. And they together set up this institute for delivering this person-centered approach. And I'm sure Alberto can give us more of an insight into that than I can. But yes, please, Alberto, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Actually, before I couldn't hear what was going on, but anyhow, this was my allotted topic. So I can tell you that we tried to design a MOOC in a way that is not only user-friendly, but is based on what is a well scientific sound approach to have not only user-friendly, but learning being a student-centered, person-centered. Anyhow, we will quickly go to what we tried to accomplish after an extensive research of literature and also a need assessment that was evaluated and map with what is the update considered best practice of this field. So we have created a MOOC with 4 modules. The first approach institute took care on the first 2 modules. And in the first and second, we put several top professional to speak between 3 and 7 minutes to really digest what is what we know today about this field. And let's say that the most impressive, at least to us on the EHCP, is that you know, in science, especially in health science, sometimes since a science is a testing hypothesis, not speaking of the truth, that is metaphysical. In science, sometimes further knowledge make you understand that what you do in the bona fide, thinking to the best you could, and then you have a dramatic realization that was not good enough. And actually, this field, a lot of the practice in the past created a lot of realization. In other words, what we did was iatrogenic. This is not the only example, you know, people with trauma. Is a constant on the scientific, you know, realm, especially in the health science. If you see sociology of health science, that appears very. So we try to be, especially in the countries that are most advantaged in this field, what are the best practices, the best practices. People that will go through a book and not only would have some top expert in the field to illustrate in a simplified way what we know today, doesn't mean that we will not surprise and know something different tomorrow. What is the so-called TIC, trauma-informed care, or trauma-informed practices, which are nowadays helping the people that need such help in a safer and effective way. So, also compare this current knowledge and good practice with the needs, we feel comfortable that there is some meaningfulness in having created this free MOOC. Or the MOOC, especially in the first 2 sections, is full in a sense, not only quiz, but also 15 exercise of self-awareness exercise, so people are in the role to see what they have learned and combine this knowledge with what is their daily experience on the job. Since we are in a biopsychosocial paradigm, of course, we couldn't offer a course that would be without also an opportune knowledge of the social construction of not only of care, but also how different countries, because there is a difference from country to country, are co-construing in terms of the educational facility, in terms of the law, in 2 ways, how they, on a way, protect and promote the rights of minors with trauma, and on the other, how they can avoid re-traumatization, because sometimes, let me give a simple example, if child, a child that seems that the eye of the untrained teacher, untrained in the sense not to recognize symptoms that can underline the existence of trauma, they can interpret that the kid is not respecting the rule, not behaving correctly, and maybe reprimand him, but instead they should signal that student to the psychologist of the school because that kind of phenomena might underline actually some traumatic event in his past or her past. Uh, the same is for uh, the laws and the institution where young people that break the law are some rehabilitated. Often their ways of rehabilitation, if it's lack of awareness of trauma and care, can inadvertently actually do uh, damage, further damage. So uh, we have in this period of a really big picture of what and how we can take care of people that have a sense of trauma, and also this would make the treatment and investment more cost effective because there would be less uh, chance to re-traumatize the client. And also, let me speak just to about another issue. That all people that take care of uh, uh, traumatized clients can suffer from burnout and a vicarious trauma. So we know much more about to facilitate professional or volunteers to uh, try to avoid and support them in preventing vicarious trauma and promoting their health and well-being. Another point that is of relevance because the caretaker are in burnout or in vicarious trauma, of course, the output, the quality of their care suffer. It's not going to suffer, family going to suffer, also their. And now, uh, speak briefly about the training manual. The training manual has been built by the University of Torino Department of Psychology for this for this project. They are the project manager with Professor Luca Le as the head of this project. Uh, the, uh, the the task of the trainer we have designed with the community based approach of training trainers in ways that they would help to facilitate the process of learning and learner-centered process. So, uh, uh, in the training of the trainer, uh, empathize, but also the Bologna process has been utilizing that the way to train people and to school them is lead, and we can do that by promoting learning and centering on the purpose and effective facilitator, in this case, we would say trainers that have a profound, grounding in being creating a facilitating climate. Although this is an online process. This is scientifically proven that it can be accomplished, and that the person-student approach is equally effective on online hybrid learning. So respect or judgment, empathic understanding, and authenticity are some ingredients that create a climate, facilitate a climate of trust, increased learning, and the results in the vast literature that we also furnish to everybody, as much as we furnish the book, ample opportunity to deepen the knowledge and access a lot of sites where people can obtain free material, free training, free video to deepen their knowledge. So among the positive results, the research has shown is a better achievement of educational goals, better attendance, more satisfaction, better morale, and also development of critical thinking, because people are not just there supposed to listen and be quiet, but really active and interacting. And so also problem solving, it gets better, and better relationship between students. We hope that also through the trainer, we could come up with suggestions and learn something, not only in terms of facilitating learning, but to facilitate our learning, to be better for our further activities in this area. I also think that somehow an important aspect to express, and certainly I have tremendous appreciation with the people, like all the institutions in the Eurochild network, that they put a lot of work and care in helping people being traumatized, because this is a pandemic. We have to do our best to stop it, because of course trauma is socially construed and it needs not just repair work, but it needs a lot of work in the field of how reality is construed and how people are behaving and relating to themselves, others, and the world. In a way, we are into sustainability, the sustainability of a human relationship that needs a lot more respect and deep understanding. So thank you for all of you that are doing.
All right, thank you very much, Alberto, for your input. And yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Fantastic, great. Thank you so much for your input. And indeed, you're right. I really do think that the Eurochild Network has something to offer for this online community, this training course, and I hope that our attendees will agree, and some of you will be interested in signing up and coming on board as trainers as well. So at this point, we are over time now, but this is part and parcel due to our technical issues that we had at the beginning. So once again, I would like to thank Alberto for your joining us, and Malin, who has left already, but once again, thank you to her for her input. And then finally to my colleague, Agatha, over here as well. And for myself, Kieran, at the Eurochild Secretariat, I'd like to wish you all a lovely afternoon, and thank you again for your attendance. We'll be sending out the recording along with an attached email and information for anybody who wants to get involved more as well. So any other questions, please do all shoot. And yes, I wish you guys all the very best and a lovely start to the new year. Thank you. Thank you, Alberto. We'll see you soon. Bye, everyone. Great.
Typing.
Yes, we'll leave the lobby open because I can see some typing as well. So, yeah, please, by all means, type away. Thank you.